Hello and welcome to Very Casual Interviews. Today I have Dave from Pleasure Island. I'm looking forward to talking to him about everything from his past musical accomplishments to his future plans with the band. And I'm very excited to learn more about Pleasure Island because I haven't seen them yet, and I plan to next time they're playing. And I hope that you too will find yourself uh, gravitating towards going to see them play live. So, Dave, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Um, so I was wondering how long you've been playing music.
I've been playing music since I was a teenager, just playing guitar and learning 90s grunge songs, things like that.
Um, what instruments do you play in a band?
I play guitar and sing. I dabble in other instruments too, but that's my main focus.
What are those other instruments?
Played a lot of piano for many years. I played bass a lot in bands. The bass was sort of my first, I don't know, instrument that I played bands in, but this is ancient history.
Your first love?
Yeah, more or less.
Um, what made you want to start your
Thing
band?
I started. Oh, sorry, there was a little lag there. Um, I mean, I've just always been in bands my whole life, right? I I think when I moved to New York, I was actually gonna stop making music. I was trying to do comedy for a little while, but as much as I enjoy to watch and consume comedy, I don't really think I have the genes for it. So I'm just talking too much on stage. But yeah, the band life is the life for me.
Do you have a tight five?
A type five or top
Yeah,
five?
isn't that what comedians refer to as being able to get up on stage at any time because they have their tight five?
Oh, a type five.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's hard to hear the audio. I used to. Yeah, the first year I moved here, I took some open mic. I took a class and I did open mics every week. And oh my God, it is so different. People have to clap at the end of your rock song, but if you make a joke,
Um, what was the first instrument you ever learned?
I took piano lessons first as a kid, but it was more homework. It felt like homework, and the teacher I had was kind of mean. Would yell at me, so I stopped doing that and picked up the guitar a few years later. I take piano lessons as an adult now, and it's completely different. But yeah, piano was the first.
See, I did violin, and I have a very similar story. I just couldn't gravitate towards the violin. And one day I pulled my violin down and played it like a guitar
Oh, well,
for the pizzicato. And my band leader said I should probably stop coming to band practice after
hell yeah,
that.
that's biopic material right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So what genre is your music?
This is always a fun one, and I'm sure every artist struggles with it. You know, I say at the end of the day, it's just indie pop. Um, if you were to be as efficient as possible, we for fun we call it lounge core. My friend who mastered our first EP dubbed that term. We sent him the first demo, and he's like, you know, you guys are a lounge core band because that first EP was a mix of there was one sort of disco song on it, there was one jazz song on it, and then one bossa nova song on it. So it was sort of like, you know, granted, I say that like these are meathead rocker people trying to make these sounds. I'm not, none of us are music school people. One of us are. I'll get into that more. But at this era in the band, it was like, we play indie pop, but let's like play with these genres. So yeah, we have no interest in kind of traditional yelling or angst or anything like that. It's like rock rocker people dabbling with more sophisticated, more tropical genres, if that
Hey,
makes any sense.
if it's any consolation, there's a lot of bands out there who are doing the screaming thing. So you're uh you're covered. You don't need to be part of that crowd. So many of them are out there.
Yeah, that's
Um,
very big now. Angst is really back.
yeah.
Uh,
Punk rock.
but you know, yeah. Well, hey, they're not hurting anybody, so everyone
Yeah,
should just happily do what they like.
absolutely. So who are your favorite bands?
I would say Jonathan Richman is probably my biggest sort of inspiration. He's also from Boston, my hometown. Um, I also was really obsessed with Prince for a very long time. Still am, but and yeah, kind of just was obsessed for many years. That was all I listened to. And then yeah, growing up, say Morrissey was probably my biggest fascination, whatever, and in my younger years, which is probably not something I would advise any potential offspring I have to listen to nothing but Morrissey for 4 years. Uh,
You
Sounds
might not
great for
you
your
you
mental
might not
health.
you might not make it out alive.
Yeah. There's others, but I'd say like that's my sort of top three. I guess I'll also mention how much I love Stereo Lab. I, just love the sort of world they've built with their endless catalog of soundscapes.
Um, so what bands influence the music that you're writing now?
I mean, it's a little bit of a moving target because Pleasure Island is sort of something that's taken on many lives. It's had many. It's like there's eras. In the beginning, yeah, it was more of a bossa nova in like lo-fi bossa nova project. So I was listening to a lot of chill wave music at the time. So it's like, what if Ariel Pink made bossa nova? And that's kind of what it did and it was in the beginning. Um, and then yeah, at one point I kept writing all these songs that my partner in the project Scott was kind of like, yeah, that's a little silly, maybe you keep that for your side project. So I made one side project. My last name is Hadden, and that project was called Had Enough, and it was all kind of just goofy songs. I mean, I liked the melodies, but they were too goofy to sort of play in a serious band. And then I think that kind of energy slowly started to like cross
The
the
Divide.
blood-brain barrier of the band, and it was like, you know what? Why don't we take that song you wrote about how long it takes you to get ready, and just start playing that in the real band? And I wouldn't say they're necessarily goofy, but we're trying to kind of have fun singing about I don't know, things that are not in the rock canon. I don't people don't need to hear my sincere emotions. At least that's not what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Some people can do that and they do it really well. I don't want to do that, and that is what it is. So yeah, we started to write songs about yeah, goofy things or silly things or absurd might be the best way to describe it. Memoirs of a guy who sleeps with people's wives as he cleans their pools. It's just like, I think that's funny. I want to hear that story. So that's our song.
I think that's great. I think that there's far too many people who take this scene way too seriously. I'm not trying to say that it's not worth taking seriously in in a concrete way, like showing up to the show, playing your set to completion, sticking around afterwards. But people are so wrapped up in the angst that you were talking about, the turmoil in the world that's coming out in the music. And I always looked at music as like a therapeutic thing. And I can't go to a show now because I might have a reaction to the anger and the sadness and all of that. And it's just it's nice to know that you're in a band that goes against that grain and uh sticks to more happy go lucky silly things.
Yeah, it's like it's a strange thing, and I think a lot of artists kind of have fun and playing with this. There is sort of a traditional, stance I think you have as a rock and roller. Randy Newman, for example, in the Mystery Train book, they talk about his song "Sail Away," and it's like this. It's like a guy who's a slave trader saying, "Hey, come on this boat. It's going to be great. You can come to America." And it's in the book, the way he described it, he's like, "This is 10 times darker than anything the Rolling Stones with their leather jackets could dream of doing." There's such a sort of default stance of like, I have a guitar, it's electric, therefore I am angry. I have an acoustic guitar, therefore I am sensitive. It's like, or sad, and it's like, I don't know. I just think it's more of a fun challenge to try and find whatever like untapped corners there are, and maybe there aren't. But I guess I would just prefer to play in those spaces. I mean, another example that comes to mind. I think it was Beat Happening, but they had an album called "The Rebel's Not In," and it's kind of like, yeah, I don't need another person leaning against the brick wall smoking a cigarette. If that's what anybody wants to do, like, it's beautiful. Like, do what you want. But it can feel oppressive at times.
Okay, so next question. What is your favorite concert you've been to?
It's a good question. Um,
Yeah, it really deep.
yeah. No, it's fun. I think I guess the one that comes to mind is the Flaming Lips. This is right in the soft bulletin era, but again, Flaming Lips, another example of a band that is, more interested in exploring sound and melody and absurdity than angst. But yeah, at that show they had, this was like, I feel like uh, the first time I saw people, do things like have people in animal costumes come out and sing, and they handed everybody headphones. I mean, I think at this point everybody knows the Flaming Lips put on a great show, but I was a freshman in college and I had just never had so much fun at a show before. I never had my mind blown in terms of like what's possible at a show.
If you could pick one, who is your favorite band or musician?
Uh, that's a tough one. I mean, I kind of only adjacently mentioned him earlier, but I guess I would say Ariel Pink is probably my favorite, like all around. I don't know, visionary in terms of such a big catalog, so many different places he's gone with it, and he's very flawed, and he's basically canceled. But it's like, I don't know. I want to see the flaws. I want to see the imperfections, and that person does not hide them. So yeah, Ariel Pink.
Have you ever gone on tour? And if so, what was your favorite city?
I've never gone on tour. I've never been kind of lucky enough to be in a band that has the sort of infrastructure to do so. We'll play out of town from time to time. I mentioned I'm from Boston, so we try to go up there once a year to play, and it's always fun because your old friends will come out of the woodwork to see us.
That's awesome. So really, I think being able to go to your hometown and be like, these are my friends from New York, and then rock their faces off, really it makes a statement.
Oh yeah. No, it's great for everybody. When you play too often, it's not special. When you play once a year, it's special.
What is your favorite song that you've written?
That I've written.
Yeah.
Um, hmm, they're my babies. I don't know. Maybe there's a song I have called "Babes," and we usually play that last or second to last at shows because it's extremely hopeful and sort of big and dumb and epic. And yeah, we have fun with the idea of screaming about, I figured there'd be babes here, but the real kind of message of the song is about like getting up and trying, getting up. And I wrote it after COVID. It's like, all right, let's go back into the world and live and try. And
Yeah. No, it's okay. You can come in. So I'm actually recording this in front of the white wine cooler in the wine store that's connected to my family restaurant. And I made I just allowed someone to come in and grab some white wine.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
like I think that's great. That's what I was mentioning a moment ago with the imperfections, like rock and roll. uh,
So, what is your favorite music venue to play?
um I really like, I'll say two. I really
Okay.
like Cassette in Ridgewood.
Hmm.
Think it's a cool spot because just the feel of it, it's a little more elevated. It's not like a rock club. It almost teeters on a jazz club. uh it's beautiful inside, and it feels like you're in on a secret. And it's down the street from my house, so those are all wins. I would also say Antidote Outpost in Greenpoint is this beautiful garden, and we've played there the past 2 summers. We're playing there again in August. Yeah, it's just a beautiful DIY space. I mean, it's a garden. This woman grows plants there for her elixirs and whatnot, and hosts shows. So we've always had good times there.
So, where did you meet the rest of your band?
So the band has primarily been myself and Scott Chassie, who is currently living in Woodstock, so he can't always be around for our media appearances like this one. Uh, but we're both we're both from Massachusetts, and I used to see him at a lot of the art parties that I would go to and DJ at. Him and his wife were always there, and I always remember going up to them and just thinking like, that's such a cool guy. Like, I'd always just make a few minutes to like chat with that guy. And we played in different bands at the time, so sometimes we'd share bills. But we randomly moved to New York within the same 2 months. And I remember one night he shot me a text. It's like, oh man, I just saw this terrible band. Why don't we start something and set this town right? So yeah, we played together for a few years, and then when he moved to Woodstock, he had to take time to fix his house and all that. So I kept going with a different group of people for a while, and then he came back into the band. And recently, or not so recently, we met a guy named Colby who plays the vibraphone, and he's kind of a musical genius. He's got his own band, Pair of Sloths, and they're great. But yeah, he was kind of playing a bill with us, and he was like bringing this vibraphone. So we asked, can you play a few songs with us? And ever since, yeah, he's just been a part of the band, and it's made our live show so much better. Obviously, you got a guy playing vibraphone on stage. I mean, can't really beat that.
Yeah, it's not a show without a vibraphone.
Yeah.
So how do you write music for your band? Like, what's the process?
Away my favorite songwriting hack that I should have found out when I was 13, but I don't know. I don't like to write with instruments in mind. I just try to write from ideas I get walking down the street, and then I just hum them into my phone as a voice memo. And I'd rather work backwards from a idea, right? From a thought or a concept or a hook, and then music can kind of fill in that blank. I don't like sit around and write melodies and riffs that I fall in love with, because to me, from a construction standpoint, I'd prefer to write songs about specific ideas, specific concepts. And I know enough about theory and how chords work that I can kind of build that in reverse. I mean, it seems so simple to say this, and who knows, maybe everybody knows that, but I will say for many years growing up and writing songs in high school and college, I would just play riffs for hours and I would hum things and then I would try to make something from that. But those songs were not very good in hindsight.
Hey, I bet they're better than you think they are. I'm a writer,
One or
and
two. Yeah.
sometimes I go back over writing that I've had sitting in my computer from like 5, 10 years ago, and I'm like, I can salvage this. I can salvage that. This paragraph is good. So I guess very similar to what you do with your musical writing is like you can you can make this something with this.
Yeah, I mean it's funny. I have yes, like a song from maybe every band I was in growing up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should take that and bring it into the new one. I mean, why not? Paul McCartney still plays "Let It Be." That was 50 years ago. So what's the difference, really?
Uh, what is your favorite memory of performing?
Oh, these are good questions, and not so easy. Let's see. I mean, this is okay. This comes to mind, I guess. I think one night I had a song. I was playing at Pete's Candy Store, and I had a song called "I Wish the Whole World Went Dancing" uh, every Saturday, and it's as simple and stupid as it sounds. But the verse is all about like logistical errors, like or logistical challenges. Like, how could that be possible? How could you get the whole world to go dancing every Saturday? So, as I mentioned, some of these songs are really stupid in nature, but I just like the idea of a very pragmatic person being like, well, how would you do that? How would you organize the transportation and taking care of kids? And where would old people go? So I was just making the verses up as I went along, and someone said like, okay. Sorry, I was asking the crowd, I'm like, what logistical concerns would you have? And someone said old people. So I said, no need to feel no gloom. We'll have a Glenn Miller room. And everybody laughed. And I was like, that was a beautiful, fun moment of singing improv.
That's
Uh,
adorable.
yeah. So sorry for that, what felt like a 30-year story.
No, it's okay. That's what we're here for. We're here to
All right.
flesh things out. I want the audience to really get to know you so that they go and watch
They're
you.
like, now I know to never come.
They're gonna come watch you. They're gonna buy your vinyls. They're gonna buy your shirts because you
I'll
really.
I'll I'll accept that.
All right. So, where and when are your future performances going to be?
So we've got two on the books, and then a couple more in the fall. We'll be booking soon. Our next show is at New Blue Classic in Manhattan, and that's July 25th. I'm not sure if this interview will be out before then, but could be. Yeah, so we're excited for that. And then in August, on August 15th, we're playing at Antidote, the garden I mentioned, Antidote Outpost Apothecary in Greenpoint. I actually just saw that I think they might be closing. Don't quote me, but I saw a post. So that's two reasons to go. Might be the last chance to see us at that venue.
You're currently working on a release like an EP or a single?
Yes, we're always working on singles. We have this sort of cassette single project that we've been working on for a little while now. So we release about 4 singles a year, and we number them. So I think we're at 8 right now. So it's our singles collection, and yeah, our next single is going to be called "I'm So Successful," and yeah, that should be out sometime in August. We're actually mixing it right now. But yeah, I think in the kind of fragmented ADD media landscape right now, releasing albums is not always the best way to get people to hear the songs. We did that during COVID once, and I'm proud of the album. I think, we had a great experience doing it, but it's just like, it's just really hard to promote an album through Instagram posts and let all those songs breathe. So doing one at a time works for us right now.
So what are your goals for the band? I guess that some of that must be the singles that you're releasing, but do you have any overarching goals for the future of the band, like what you'd like to see done with it?
Um, it's funny, we've been doing this for so long, and when I think about how difficult it is to kind of like make success metric progress, I don't really think I have any goals besides to keep going and to keep writing songs that amuse me. Um, I kind of feel like we're a extremely unmarketable band. I don't necessarily mean that in a self-deprecating way. I mean, I
Yeah,
love music that I make, and a lot of people genuinely like what we do, but it's like I just kind of had an epiphany a long time ago. If you think like, oh, this doesn't matter until we get a booking agent, or it doesn't matter until we get a record label. It's like, it's so much fun to have this little world that we have, a little community, a little team, and always have fun, awesome art projects to work on. Yeah, if some gatekeeper was like, you may proceed, I'll go. But I don't know. Like, I love life in this project, and that's why I'm still doing it.
that's fantastic. Hey, do you have any recommendations for the audience, like other bands that they could go see, bands that you like?
Um, are we talking about, you know, famous bands or local
No,
bands?
just whoever's in the scene.
Um, I'm trying to think. These are always funny ones. I think Oxymoron writes great music. Um, and I guess in that they're in a similar world. This guy Dale Jr. He writes great pop songs. Reclining Nude. Um, I'm trying to think who else. I'm not. I don't want to say like I don't like most bands, but I feel like there's like not a ton of like pop bands. There's a band Push. They're really good. I mean, this person doesn't need my help, but Joanna Sternberg writes great music. And Radiohead. No, I don't know. Whatever.
So
Yeah.
we're approaching the end of the interview. Is there anything that you'd like to
It's funny with
plug?
all these questions. I'll think of like 10 or 12. Oh, there was a lag there. What were you saying?
I was saying that we're about finished with the interview. Is there anything that you'd like to plug?
Um, yeah. I really well. I'm reading Jonathan Franzen's latest book. I mean, it's like 5 years old, but I'm enjoying it. That's really nice. Like the Jimmy Dore YouTube channel. He's a socialist that complains about corporate Democrats all the time. We didn't really talk about politics or anything like that, but
Oh no, no, we can talk
Jimmy
about
Dore is who
politics.
I listen to when I wash the dishes.
I have a bachelor's degree in political science. We could talk about politics as much as you want.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we can maybe do a follow up, but yeah, I think Jimmy Dore is great, and Catherine Liu. Oh, so many things. Let's do another interview sometime.
All right, cool.
Well, thanks
Well,
thanks so much for having me.
yeah, thank you, Dave. Thank you for sitting down with me and reaching out in the first place because you thought that this sounded like a cool idea. I think we covered a lot of ground today, and I definitely got to know you a lot better. And I'm I'm contemplating going to that show on the 15th of August because that's my birthday, and it might be fun to see Pleasure Island in the flesh.
Well,
Um,
we'll have to get you a drink since it's
yes,
your birthday.
that'd be great.